But yeah, I mostly play on my 360. Because it's probably the one that I've invested the most in. And yes, I play Gears of War. I play some of the shooters. I've never dived into any of the Call of Duty, which seems to be, it's either you either play Gears or you play Call of Duty. But I'm thinking of eventually picking up I'm eventually thinking of picking up Modern Warfare 2 whenever that comes out. Probably, I think it's sometime in September or something like that. I can't remember. But, the latest RPG that I played was Mass Effect, and I can't wait for Mass Effect 2. And I'm still trying to get my hands on Blaze Blue. I'm trying to scrummage up enough money to get Blaze Blue, because I love fighting games, and Guilty Gear is just amazing. So yeah. So if you ever want to challenge me, you guys can add me on Xbox Live. It's pretty much, it's not CanadianJutsu. Amazingly enough, it's my original account, which is OO Canada. Ooh, Canada, because unfortunately O Canada was taken, and it made me sad. But yeah, if you guys want to fight me sometime in Soul Calibur, Street Fighter 4, Dead or Alive, pretty much any fighting game apart from Virtual Fighter. I drew the line at Virtual Fighter. I've never liked that series.
No. You don't like Virtual Fighter?
No, I don't like Virtual Fighter. I don't particularly like Tekken either, but I would play Tekken far more than I would ever play Virtual Fighter. It's just something, I guess I just never really liked it because it sort of meshed too much of, it's trying to be too real, and that could be a problem for some reason. It's just, when I'm in a fighter, there needs to be a disbelief that this person can take 18 hits to the face. You can't have a life bar on a realistic fighter. When I break your bones, you should not be able to do anything. But Virtual Fighter, though it strives on being amazing and realistic with its fighting styles, it does not show it. It's a bunch of characters that have similar move sets that just break and punch each other. And Tekken, the only problem I have is it has this stop-and-go style where it doesn't flow like other fighters. Where, you can get a certain combo in Street Fighter, but you can't get a certain flow in Tekken. It's sort of like, here, 18-hit combo, stop, reset, then whoever gets the advantage. And it continuously
like in Soul Calibur.
Yeah, where Soul Calibur, the only thing that I like more about Soul Calibur is because it adds that extra feeling of, you're not fighting with your fist, you're fighting with weapons. And that stop and go is apparent for weapons. It's not like I'm going to relentlessly, slam my rapier into a guy with a scythe. That's not a good idea. I need to stop, think about it, and then find an angle around. Whereas with fist fighting, it's really who can hit the hardest, who can hit the fastest, and how you can string it all together so your opponent never gets an attack.
I never really was good at Soul Calibur.
It's an acquired taste.
Never really could stand that game anyway. Anyway, on to the next question. What shows besides anime do you watch?
I'm big into sort of crime CSI type shows. I definitely have always liked 24. It's definitely a show that, though it's completely outrageous on how all that crap can happen to the president or Jack Bauer in one day, it's very interesting entertainment. It's very thought provoking, and the characters are really interesting. But another one is very similar. That's not very similar to 24, but like CSI is NCIS. I really like that show.
Yeah, I watched that show too.
Yeah, Gibbs and all the characters, and Tony. That type of witty character is something that I idolize. I really like that sort of. That's why I guess I sort of like Ryan Reynolds a little bit, is because they play these witty characters that they have the power to back themselves up, where they have this sort of I'm strong, I'm a person of authority, I am intelligent, but they also have this sort of quirky assholishness. sort of feeling, and there's that strong male figure that sort of keeps them in line and is sort of like the driving force of the entire squad. So I really like those shows, and that's why I don't watch CSI that much anymore, because it's no longer lighthearted like it used to be. Sort of like The Pretender. Did you ever watch The Pretender?
No, I've seen some episodes. I like that show actually, because
where it's about this guy that he's like the most intelligent, one of the most intelligent. He can be anybody. He's so intelligent that he understands everything.
Read a book and then know what it is.
Yeah, and he lives in this institute, then he breaks out, and he needs to keep himself undercover, and he needs to stay away. And the problem that happened, and that show was awesome. It was witty, it was funny, because he was learning about the outside world. Then they sort of went the direction of saying, let's have all the characters have backstories that like are complicated and all dark and spooky. So you no longer saw him taking over and being a pretender. It was just him trying to find his like dead brother's actual aliveness. There's a couple of shows that have gone that way. CSI is one of them. All the CSIs now, and I swear to God, I blame it on CSI Miami. As awesome as David Caruso is, he ruined it because he gave CSI on CBS too much backstory. And let's not even get started with New York, because there's that one like head girl. She has the curly hair. I think she's like Latino or maybe she's black. I can't remember. I can't remember her name, but she is so. She gets like raped. She almost gets AIDS, and it's like in the span of like 3 episodes, and you're like, I don't care. Solve a fucking crime. That's what CSI is. So that's why I like things like NCIS, because they don't bog down with too much story. They don't bog down with too much like backstory. They have backstory because we want to know a little bit about the characters, but it has this more lightheartedness of, everybody has their own lives. And you don't always have to follow them. You know who they are and probably what they do, and you don't need them to be dragged on. So those are the types of shows that I really like to watch. More thought-provoking. Like Boston Legal, I wish that was never moved, but that I could go on for hours, so let's get on to the next question.
All right, go ahead, Bo.
Oh, what? Oh, yes. Wait, what next question?
Question 11.
Oh, okay, yes.